And here we go again with another Nothing Like a Good Book with Mark Bishop. And it's terrific to have you. Dedicated to authors, what do? Well, we discover your book. We find promoters out there, publishers out there that are doing their thing to support you and help you publish your book and write your book and sell your book. And my job is to help you do that as well. So we discover your book and we promote your book profusely. And our goal is to help you sell a few books. You know, whether you're giving it away to charity or whether you're keeping it to have a cruise, that's your business. You wrote it. It's your money, right? But anyway, Nothing Like a Good Book is coming up soon. Every interview, every author I've ever done is getting close to the 100. We shall promote on the site, and your book will be available to buy as well. Won't that be good? One link. There we go. So we've had some terrific authors. We've had, children's authors. We've had drama, mystery, fiction, nonfiction, and it keeps changing. This one's beautiful. It's a lovely book. In fact, my special author guest this time, his episode, in fact, this episode, really retrospectively reviews his son's long and challenging journey to obtain a diagnosis of Cushing's disease. Have you heard of that? Mm-hmm. Well, it's a compelling narrative. It's framed against the backdrop of clinical guidelines developed by leading endocrinologists from the United States and the United Kingdom. So without further ado, let's welcome Chuck Knueve. And folks, I just want to sort of say this. This is not a textbook, all right? The events are true, and it is written in a conversational style. So it's a heck of a book, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So without further ado, here is Chuck. Where are you, Chuck? You hiding? Hello? Hi, buddy. You thought I'd lost you, didn't you?
I knew where I was.
There you go. Yeah, and where are you, by the way? You've got beautiful greenery behind you. What neck of the woods are you in?
I am in Wapakoneta, Ohio, which is northwest mid-Ohio.
Oh, lovely. Haven't seen that neck of the woods yet. I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of beautiful country in America.
So we got an Aussie talking to a Midwestern farm boy.
Have you ever been down under, buddy?
Yes, I have. We went there and visited for like 17 days and saw much of the eastern half. The most striking thing that I saw was the Opera House. And I actually did a lot of research on how they engineered to make that happen.
There you go. Yeah, by a Dutchman of all things.
Yeah.
But it nearly never got finished. You know the story behind it. Right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful sight. And when you stand up
it started in the cafeteria when somebody was cutting an orange, cutting the different panels the way they were. And the panels each panel, they look like they're different. But if you look at the radius of each of the panels, the radius is all the same. And that's why it all fits together.
Well, there you go. The name of the book is Surviving Cushing's Disease. It's a young man's journey. And in fact, it's your son's journey.
Yes.
And I got to ask you, and it's an obvious question I ask every author, but what inspired you? But in your case, what inspired you to turn, to go this deep, really, in a private matter, on a deeply personal journey, to turn it into a novel? And how did your personal goals evolve into, a mission, really, to educate others?
It started when I was just trying to chronicle the events and list them so that if he had to refer back to them, he could. I got stopped at one time and I wrote the paragraph and I wrote it 5 times. I, got emotional when I wrote it. And I thought, there's a deeper thing to hear than that. There's more that needs to be told. The people need to hear this. And the main goal, my son and myself, is to make sure that we can prevent any other person who would happen to have this disease get an earlier diagnosis, because the earlier diagnosis is definitely crucial to live a vibrant life afterwards. And so many people face Cushing's disease, or a lot. It's a rare disease, but a number of people face Cushing's disease. But not only Cushing's disease, any rare disease. The book written in a style that it's like a blueprint to how to manage any disease or whatever, and how to speak up and when to say something and all of those things.
Wow.
And I thought,
so it's a real Bible. It's a guideline then, isn't it?
Well, I write it so that in one place I say, this is your companion. When you get down, read the book. Someone else has been through this. Someone else has experienced this, and then read it. And then you can all of a sudden realize that it's not a companion. It's not just a book, but it's a survival guide. It's a survival guide for them to maybe one paragraph in there might be the impetus for them to be able to speak up and get themselves heard so they can get an earlier diagnosis.
Chuck, why is your son's story one that you feel that needed to be told? I know you've explained that, it started off from a personal, you wanted to get it down on writing and all the research, because, from what I understand, this went on for 20 years.
Yeah, it went on for a very long time, yes.
Right. But the biggest reason is what? Is what you've just said, that you want to help others? Yes,
we want to help others, and you just people need to be heard. I guess the book starts out that is due, and it starts out what the doctors did for him saved his life, but what they did not do almost destroyed his life. So it's really? in that vein, we were trying to make it feel urgent that no matter what level you're involved in with this disease, the patient or the advocate or the doctor, everybody needs just to listen a little bit closer. They need to develop more suspicion, and they need to do earlier testing. And as I said before, earlier testing is the crucial thing.
Right.
That they can live vibrant lives, yes.
Okay, well, let's put that up.
I actually have a little jingle, and sometimes jingles can help people remember things. I don't know. You're of my age, but I don't know if you had it down under. But we had the letters LSMFT.
LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
No, look, good old Lucky Strikes. God, that goes.
Even way back.
Doctors are even advertising. I can't believe that when you look back at those years.
Yeah, and that little jingle. So I made it one. Maybe that it'll stick with somebody, because when they get done with this interview, they're going to say, he said what? And he said what? But maybe the jingle will be something that will help them remember it. So here it is.
Okay, shoot.
Cushings, a belly with tracks. Cushings, a hump on the back. Cushings, a face like the moon. Cushings, get checked soon.
Very good.
It's short and sweet, and it sounds
good for an ad for me. You could make something with that.
It sounds goofy, but when I studied endocrinology in my undergrad pharmacy degree, the endocrinology professor said, if you have those three things, you need to be testing. You need to suspect Cushing's disease. It was very simple, very sweet. Now the guidelines, they're described in much more detail. Sometimes I think they get lost in too much detail that the message gets garbled.
Right. I understand.
So that's why I thought for the general public, I wanted to make a nice little simple jingle, and it's in the book twice. I repeat it twice so that they will.
Very good.
Hopefully remember it.
Chuck, you chose to tell the story from the perspective really of a father who's also a doctor of pharmacy. Well, you were, and well, still are, but you've retired.
I still am. I'm retired.
Right. How did that dual lens shape the narrative and your understanding, really of the medical journey?
Well, when I did the research of the book, I read a number of different memoirs and novels about people and diseases. What I found that most of them were from the point of view of the medical community, and very few were from the view of the patient. And if the patient did it, it was just a chronicle one. In nothing against the chronicle books, but they're very hard to keep a person turning the pages, because there's no heart, there's no feeling, there's no emotion in it. And I tried to put the emotion and all of that in the book.
Right.
So what I did is, because I had this degree and I had to study those same guidelines that they use, that the specialists use to diagnose it, I says, well, why don't I just lay those guidelines on top of his 20-year experience? And then as I go along and describe these set of symptoms, and I'll say, well, this is what the guidelines said that should happen. And then I said, but it didn't happen. And then so I present each new a pivotal disease or point or whatever, and then put the guidelines with it so that they were matched. And I'm thinking hopefully that would give somebody who's reading the book more power or more security and more sureness when they want to ask questions and try to get answers and try and get that early diagnosis, which is paramount for vibrant life afterwards.
Explain to me, a layman and my thousands of other viewers, laymen, what is Cushing's disease? How does it come about? How do you first notice it? What does it do?
Cushing's disease is an endocrine disease. Actually, it is all of the Cushing's syndrome is the umbrella that covers all of the Cushing's disease, and Cushing's disease is under that as one part of that umbrella. And then there's where the disease affects the adrenal glands, and then it can affect anywhere in the body, which is extremely, extremely rare.
So it starts with the adrenal glands.
That's where the target is. But where my son's problem started was in the pituitary gland.
Oh,
the pituitary gland is the master gland and sits in the right below the brain, right by the nose, and it controls the endocrine glands. And it's getting messages from there. Yeah, you need to make more cortisone. You don't need to make more cortisone.
Really?
The adrenal gland is the one that makes the cortisol.
Right.
But his problem was he had 2 tumors on his pituitary that took over the control of the hormone that tells the endocrine gland to produce the cortisone.
Okay.
And that was his problem.
And what does that do? How did he first notice that?
What it does is it creates massive amounts of cortisone in the body, and massive amounts of cortisone in the body start to begin to affect a lot of other symptoms. His showed up first as the buffalo hump, the hump in the back that we talk about. It shows up as obesity. It can show up because of the excess weight. You get the striae. And then you get this balloon. It's like blowing a balloon up a little bit bigger than what it was. And then you get a face like that. Wow. It ends up with diabetes and uncontrolled type hypertension, infections. And it goes on and on and on, which the book describes if it's not diagnosed and taken care of. So,
well, as a matter of fact, walk us through some of the pivotal moments. I mean, there were a lot of missteps, misdiagnosis, key turning points over the 20 years. You were searching for answers. It was like a hopeless search, but you never gave up.
I would probably don't know if I necessarily say they were pivotal moments. I would just say they were missed opportunities.
All right.
I think I might describe it better.
I'll scrub that out.
No, that's okay.
There were no pivotal moments.
It depends on how you want to describe pivotal. For me, pivotal here, it was a missed opportunity. Okay. There was an incident that presented itself. He had a diabetic emergency in 2013, which he had just become a pre-diabetic. So, and that emergency does not happen usually that soon.
Right.
So it was because of the nature of that situation, it kind of raised a red flag saying, is there something more to this? Are we missing something? But, and it was really hard because he almost lost his life. He had a horrible night struggling to breathe for probably for 12 hours. He was just...
Okay, so you and your darling, your Minister for War and Finance, Peggy, your cheese and kisses, your missus. Yes. You would have heard that in Australia, surely. Yeah. You went through all of this together.
That situation there is he tried to call me on my phone. He tried to call the landline. Neither one of us were there, and I had my phone turned off because I was fishing with my son-in-law. And then we found out when we got home about 7:30 that he was in the hospital, right in the middle of all this. And then so we tried to get a flight there, and we couldn't get there till the next morning. So he had to go through it with the nurse and him by himself. So it's really kind of an ugly battle, but that's just the way it is. The other thing that I would like to say, and this one here just does not happen like now, it's the uncontrolled blood pressure that happens, just keeps happening. One more pill, another pill, until all of a sudden you have a whole handful of pills you take to control blood pressure. That was just another ugly situation. And then in 2018, the year of infections. And the reason I mention all of those three, because uncontrolled blood pressure is the gateway to heart disease and strokes.
Right.
So if you look at Cushing's disease, when you read it, the thing that kills Cushing's disease patients is strokes, heart attacks, infections, and diabetes. So that's the reason I mentioned those, because they're very important. And I wanted to be able to bring that point in, that, the disease let go, it flirts with his mortality. And so, that's those were big points. Another one, another one that was just really heart wrenching, is when he had to go through several job changes. Well, that's just how the life is for engineers. He's a chemical engineer, and sometimes they do have to go through job changes. But the one, he lost it because of the disease. They let him go. And that was an extremely difficult moment to have your son walk in your house, into the kitchen, in tears. A lost man, lost his career, lost his life,
lost everything. Yeah, and wonder where the hell he's going, taking all these tablets, this and that. It's psychological.
So then Dad come up to him, wrapped him up, and he says, "Don't you ever think you're going to be fighting this alone? We're going to be here all the way with you." And then all of a sudden, Mom wiggles in, and we were the three. We were a cocoon, wrapping him in and said, "You're not fighting this one alone, buddy."
Yeah,
so that was right. And if you read that one, that one's going to touch your heart.
Very beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I mean, what do you believe prevented? I mean, if I'm going to ask you this, what do you believe prevented a timely diagnosis? We've got some geniuses around the world. This is 2025, for God's sake. You're going back 20 years. What is it? 2005. Even then, we've got top, doctors in America, UK. Yeah. Why can't you pinpoint the darn thing?
Well, when I went through to get my doctorate, one of the professors, we were all looking for, and it was something in endocrinology. We were all looking for the cause, and he says, "Hey, folks, you don't have to. You don't. When you hear hoofbeats, you look for horses, not zebras." So I call it the zebra attitude. And basically what that says is that when they see signs and symptoms, they look for the common thing, and they don't suspicion the rare thing, which sometimes you need to do along one with the other to make sure that you end. And I think the zebra attitude, it was developed in 1960, and that attitude still persists a little bit today. Because I've been in some of my rounds in my studies with them when they were trying to develop, like, what diagnosis is this, and they'll write them all on the board, and then I go through them one by one, and then the ones on the bottom sometimes just kind of get forgotten. Well, that's where this Cushing's disease would sit, so it kind of gets forgotten sometimes. I
see. Never gets up the ladder.
The other thing is that the disease itself is a master of disguise. In everybody's defense, it's a difficult disease
to diagnose. It hides behind
all of the symptoms that they have are the common symptoms that are common to all of the other diseases. So naturally, the doctors are going to feel like, well, it has to be this, and in their defense, that's probably what most of us would do. Right.
Trying to eliminate through process of elimination.
Exactly. That's what they're doing. Exactly. That's what they're doing.
So let me ask you this. What can the medical community improve upon when it comes to early detection here? Something rare like Cushing's disease. We're 2025. What can they do now? What's your recommendation?
My recommendation is to raise the radar of suspicion. And that's why I think the little jingle that I mentioned. If they
Right.
see that, it's very simple, and it sounds corny, and it sounds like nobody with that kind of education would use
Right.
that. But sometimes if you keep things sweet and simple, they're more effective. So yeah,
You know the old KISS factor, don't you? The old KISS factor. Keep it simple, stupid. You know.
Yeah, raise the radar of suspicion, especially when symptoms increase and progress and get worsened.
Right.
Because that delay in diagnosis leads to lifelong consequences.
I understand.
You got to think with more curiosity and think beyond what's obvious.
Think out the damn box. I know. I just finished.
Think outside the box. You got it.
Okay, now listen, we don't have a lot of time left, and I've got a lot to get through with you, Chuck.
Okay, all right.
I want to ask you this. How is Dean doing today? How's your boy doing?
Today, he is working part-time. He has gone through the disability channels with the government, and that was a lot of red tape. That was not an easy process either.
Right.
But he has full disability, and he works part-time, and he has developed I guess I want to call it a third parent partnership with my sister and her husband, because my sisters are my daughter and her husband. My daughter's a doctor, so she's away a lot. Oh. And my son-in-law, he does a lot of coaching with his kids. They have 4 boys and a girl. And so he's that third parent sometimes, and he has a nickname of Manny. So he fills his life with being involved with those kids, and he's very involved with them, and he is very attached to them.
That's great. That's nice to hear that for him. And I mean, when you hear that, I mean, my question was going to be, once the correct diagnosis is found and done and the surgery is performed, how does life change after all of that? And obviously, good things come like this, progress and go forward. Obviously, right?
Well, he has to reinvent himself, both physically and his career, where he wants to go with his life. And so right now that's where it's at, because he's unable to work a full week. He has tried several times, and he gets to about 30 hours, and his stamina and strength is just not there. So he does this, and
he does what he can do, and he's reclaiming his life, how old is he now?
42.
42, okay. He's not married, never got married yet.
No.
Okay, well, it's when it's meant to be, she'll come along. Or maybe it's a nurse. Keep it in the family, why not?
well, you know what? We did write it up in there, was where he is flirting with the nurse in the hospital. We'll put a little humor in there.
Who doesn't, Who doesn't? Nurses do a wonderful job. They do a wonderful job. You emphasize the importance of public awareness. By the way, folks, on the bottom here, that's his direct site, https://talestobetold.com. Tales to be told. You can order this book direct off his site. Okay. What I want to ask you is this: how did writing this book help you process the experience as a father, do you think, and as a health professional that you were? Has it changed your outlook in any way on advocacy or storytelling, for that matter, Chuck?
Well, I think because this book's out there, there's been incidences where I've heard doctors have checked for Cushing's disease sooner. So that's good. The book itself was healing for me, because a lot of times I persecuted myself, saying I should have done more, I should have tried harder, I should have spoke louder. And then finally I said, you can't get somebody to do what they don't want to do. I couldn't order the tests. I couldn't get them to order the tests. So It took me a little while to get over that. But now I think I am, knowing that whenever we're in this world with a problem like this, none of us ever face it alone. We always have to count on one another. So the family counted on them when we thought they could help us. And it just took a long time for them to respond, and that's the case. And so the whole point here is to get this out so people know it, and that no one else has to go through what he went through, and no one else has to live the big part of their life with a lot of baggage that should not be there.
It's tough for every family when they find out one of the siblings, has a disease per se, or they don't know till it's too late. Yeah. And this comes on. But this is a creepy disease. Nasty bastard it is. Cushing's disease. Yeah, man, it hides. It's, it doesn't got the bloody kahunas to come out front. So you've got a chance to knock it off early.
Yeah.
It disguises itself, doesn't it?
Yes.
Well, is there anything that you'd like to leave, for the viewers and listeners? Is there, because this goes out audio as well, is there anything, you'd like to leave as a big takeaway for anybody?
Well, as a father, I saw a son struggling battle after battle and fighting it courageously, never seeking pity on himself, never. He always had a smile on his face no matter what he was going through, and he never made the disease or the moment about him. And
Right.
I do respect that a lot in him, and that's just wonderful. That's the way it went. But for now, the biggest point I like to leave with people is keep this awareness of this disease in your heart, because the earliest possible testing is what's crucial. So all of these patients, or sons, daughters, whoever, will have a full, vibrant life. That's what they deserve. We all deserve.
You must be in the community still where you get news with what's going on, with the disease, within the medical fraternity and so on. What have you heard of lately? Any good news other than CRISPR technology that I hear everything about, right? What else?
As far as a change in technology is to identify the disease, no, I have not heard anything. But I have, and I haven't heard any responses from doctors yet. But nurses, yeah, they are all saying, this is just amazing. This is just unreal that you guys had to go through so much.
Right.
The medical community, I think.
World, nothing from the professional world in how they're discovering it earlier, perhaps.
No, there's not. Well, and that's the whole point of this book, is for them to read it and then maybe get those same group of specialists. Let's sit down and let's take what he has to say and see if we can do better. And then that's why I described his scene, because the jingle happens very early in his life. It's probably happens when he was in his 20s. All this extra stuff, every time something came, it just reinforced you need to test. So
but as he's growing up and going teenage life and then into these 20s and so on, did he go to his GP and get annual testing in reference to normal health testing that we all do?
He had to, because he had blood pressure, so he had regular visits throughout.
So that was that the first thing, blood pressure?
That was the first thing that got him to be going to regular visits. Yeah,
I see. Right. Okay.
But actually, the thing is, that's even with the GP is one that would probably diagnose it, or the endocrinologist. And he had two endocrinologists on board, one in Texas and one in Michigan. Yeah, one in Texas and one in Michigan. Right. And we learned an interesting fact there is that if you want to get a specialist, you have to get a specialist that specializes in Cushing's disease, not just an endocrinologist, because he had the ones that specialized in his diabetes. And
I see.
They just, so
specialist. That's interesting. A niche. A certain niche.
Yeah, a niche, a specialist within a specialist. Yeah. So,
Well, I understand about diagnosis, although my doctor's fabulous, my GP and my pulmonologist, through what I've been through last year, a couple of bouts in hospital with pneumonia and so on. But they did miss a year of what we call valley fever, which is common in Arizona. Everybody gets it when you hear it's a thing in the soil, right? But it just stays in your body. It doesn't do anything to you until your immune system really goes down, like mine did. And the darn thing pops up like shingles. And but it was missed. So it had been a year in me. So now I'm on, special drugs for the darn thing, but it takes a year or more. It's a long-term animal. And it knocks me around still terribly, but still I'll beat it. I'm not a quitter. I'll get rid of it.
Well, I think all of us have our own battles.
We do, my friend. We do. We do.
It's just that his battle was right out there in front where everybody is. And this disease puts that battle right out there in front where everybody can see it. So I needed to say it so that when people start to see some of that stuff, they can think, I wonder if it's that. My wife looks at everybody now and she says, I wonder if he has Cushing's disease.
Right.
Everybody.
When did you decide to shave the beard off?
My beard? Oh, that's not me on the book.
Oh, it's not you. How come?
It's supposed to be because it's anonymous. That's as close to an anonymous picture that I could get to my son.
Okay.
That's not actually my son's picture, but
Right.
I just wanted to say that's the young man.
Okay, I get
And
it.
the reason that picture there is because after he had surgery, the most beautiful thing that he got back was his smile. And here this young
That's nice.
young man here has a smile. It's a stress smile, but it was a smile that my wife and I recognized. So I had to put that on there.
Yeah, no, fair enough then. The book is called Surviving Cushing's Disease, A Young Man's Journey, and it's by Chuck Knueve. All right?
Yes.
Chuck Knueve. Is that Canadian way back or
No,
Polish? What is it?
it's German.
A German, is it?
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
the name had an N on the end of it. My grandpa got mad and went one time and took the N off and made us a new name.
All right, well, at least I got it. That was a tough one in the beginning, wasn't it?
You got it. You got it perfect.
Well, there you go. That's what a pro does. All right, my friend, except some technology bingo I always mess up, but never mind. You can't be brilliant at everything, can you?
Yeah.
Either way, it's been a thorough, absolute
You're doing
pleasure
a
meeting
wonderful
you.
job here.
Oh, thank you. It's very kind of you. I'm glad to hear, actually, that you've sold quite a few thousand books overseas in the UK and so on, and there's a lot, and it's going through a lot of bookstores. Let's talk about where we can buy this now. Obviously, right here on the site, talestobetold.com, okay?
The best place to buy it is on that website because there's a special going on now. If you buy one of the hardcover books, you get a free ebook.
Okay.
And then it is also available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble for those people who want to use that site.
All right. Now we're talking, as you just said, a hardcover.
Yeah, there is a paperback cover and a hardcover. There is an audiobook. And the audiobook can only be bought on the website.
Okay.
So,
On this website here.
Yes. The audiobook can only be bought on the website.
All right. And are you doing the audiobook?
No, I had somebody else do it.
Okay, right.
And the website has couple videos that I've already done. It has a trailer on there.
Oh,
it has
it is. It's interesting.
It has a lot of information there. Just if you're interested to go take a peek and take a look at it, and then when you're done, and if you like it, you can go ahead and buy it right there at the website. But you can learn a lot more about it at the website,
Right.
and then, like I said, buy it if you decide to buy it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it is, I must say one more time, it is an easy read. The title might give it away that it's a difficult read. It's a very easy read. I had people who are not readers sat down and almost read it in one sitting. It just turns from one page to the other.
Right.
Almost by itself because
Simple,
you have to just keep finding out what's happened next, and it just goes from one page to the other. So it's
well, that's a good book, my friend.
and it's packed full of a lot of information.
When you can't put it down.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's good. Well, good on you, and congratulations. At this stage of your life, it must be a big thrill to be able to accumulate all that you've been through, put it together, get this out there into the world, global, and add to that, look at the work you're doing to help others.
Yeah, that was our main goal, is to not have anybody else go through this. We can't change what happened to us, but we can change what happens to others, and that's what it's all about. We're not in this alone to fight this battle. We got to help one another.
Good on you, Chuck. Appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. By the way, did you enjoy your time down in Australia?
I did. We really did. We really
But I noticed you said 17 days. You see, I talk to a lot of Americans who say, look, it's on my bucket list. It's number one. Why don't you go? Oh, you only get a week's holiday, No, you do need longer. Save up and go for at least 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
The landmass alone is bigger than America. And everybody flies into Sydney and maybe walks to Sydney Harbour Bridge goes to the Opera House or Botany Bay, whatever the whole deal is. But then everybody goes up to Cairns and, does the Barrier Reef and a bit of snorkeling.
We did. That's where my wife and I swam with Wally. We snorkeled and swam with Wally. And I did the sea bob thing where you go down into the...
Very nice.
Yeah.
All that jazz. Well, you know what? That's like 5% of Australia. What I'm getting at is there's so much more country to see.
Yeah.
And the West is beautiful. And in the middle, and Alice in the heart of Australia, you're going to find. Oh, look,
I
I
liked
tell you
Alice
what.
Springs. I liked Alice Springs. There's
Oh,
a
you
lot of
can
neat.
tell us at least. All right, it sounds
There's
like
a lot of neat things that happen there. They have the doctors who fly. I think it's in.
Oh, yes, that's the Flying Doctor Service.
Yeah, the flying doctors. And then I was fascinated with how they educate their kids because they're so spread out.
Oh, yeah.
And that was kind of a little bit taken off of how they educate them from the flying doctors.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. It's like ham radio plus today.
Yeah.
But not only that, you go to Alice and you're going to see the only boat race in the world in a sandy river.
Yeah. Well, that river, I think, was dry when we were there, but
it's always dry, my friend, and it's a joke because everybody runs with the boats. It's quite amazing. It's a big day.
But they did say that I thought they said that there is an actual river flowing underneath it.
Yeah, there is way under. There's tons of water, lots of water, riparian water in Australia, and so on, because we get so much in the monsoon season in the outback, the real outback, right? Yeah. Where you're likely to meet Dundee, it soaks right down, and we've got this aquifer. It's amazing. It's huge, Mm-hmm. But all the population is on the East Coast or South Australia, and it's now starting to, the West is beautiful in its own right. They don't like Easterners, of course, but the West is fabulous. There's a lot to see. In fact, the West is now becoming what they call the grey hair trail. That's a lot of people have retired, and they got their caravans or they got their RVs. Not like your RVs here. I mean, unbelievable. You guys got houses. I'd love one of those to see America, I tell you. Anyway, Chuck, we've got to go. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. Good luck with the book. I'll send you all the links and everything else for you to play with. And,
will I be able to put this on my website, this interview?
Oh, yes, of course you can. You can do with it whatever you need to do to help promote your book. And no cost. Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. So when I send that, I'll let my team know, and we need this on the website.
Sure. After I get it all edited and post produced and have it ready to go. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Uru, be good. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Mark. You do a good job.
Oh, what a character! What a lovely man! So I hope you enjoyed that. Nice guy, but what a great cause! What a fantastic cause! I mean. We've all got our problems, and, we thank God for least diseases, but some devils get it all, and that's a nasty one. And let's hope this book will get out there and do some good. And it will. And, of course, like I said, if you wanted to buy it, let's go one more time. There it is there, talestobetold.com. All right. https://talestobetold.com. You can buy it direct. Look at the site while you're there. Have a good look around and so on. Nothing like a good book dedicated to authors all over the world. We discover your book, love to discover your book, promoting your book, and we help sell your book because, you might be raising funds for a good cause, a charity, whatever. Maybe you just want to pay for the costs of doing it. Yeah, it's not cheap these days to a degree. So, okay. And when the site comes up, all books will be up there. You can look at them, read them, go through them all and so on. And everything will be there. Okay. So thank you for being with us again. Please subscribe or tell others. It'll help the channel big time. I don't have a sponsor as yet, maybe down the track, but you need the numbers to do it or they won't look at you. Okay. So I'd appreciate you subscribing, ring the bell, ding dong, whatever you got to do, and I hope to see you soon. Okay.